Hi everybody, it's Aroma Talk again. So today I'm bringing you 5 oils again in the light of the current event that's happening globally. And I've been asked multiple times a day of what essential oil I would personally use or I would suggest them to use in this time to support their health, their respiratory system, their well-being, and to also have some peace of mind. Okay, so these are like quite a few oils that I have been using quite frequently myself. And in a Facebook post and also Instagram post, I actually have posted up a list of oils. That's my recipe, and then there's exercise, and then underneath there's aromatherapy with the list of oil that I would regularly suggest to anyone for this time to help them feel supported, safe, and also clean in themselves. So, having said that, there's no scientific proof of anything of the C virus of what works and what doesn't, because there's really not enough. It's a new episode into the world, so there's really no scientific background that has been established so far and up to this day. And everything that I suggest is coming out from 3 things. Number 1, facts. Number 2, personal opinion and experience. Number 3, my own spiritual guidance, as I also work with the energy. And having said that, I will tell you, okay, which one is fact, which one is personal opinion, which one is inspiration or revelation that comes to me personally. So, even though there wasn't like a real scientifically established of the C virus of what kills it and what doesn't, viruses have existed for millenniums, and also similar symptoms virus has already existed and been managed through the history of human. And so now we aromatherapists, natural healthcare professional, even medical healthcare professional, are trying through from those experience, try to break through from it, and also use some of the old practice to see if what works and what doesn't. And these are the oil that I personally find. Some of them are personally findings, and some of them are actually revelation that came to me in the lights. First of all, cinnamon. Cinnamon, it's a very strong oil. Okay, and it has a very pleasant aroma. A lot of us use it in coffee anyways. As I had said before in another video, that if you use cinnamon, don't use it every day. You need to kind of use for a while and then take a break, and use for a while and then take a break. That's why I always suggest, if I suggest oil, I would not only suggest one. I at least suggest 3 to 5 or even to 10 different oils that you can alternate. So cinnamon is highly antiseptic. It kills a lot of germs. But because it's strong, sometimes it's very aggressive on the skin, especially like soft spot, like these areas. So I could do that. Again, this is personal reference. But most people could not even put it under the nose because it's stinging so much. So you can mix it with any kind of balm, any kind of like oil, like carrying oil, cream, and use it for your hands. So if for DIY hand sanitizer, this will be for sure one of the ingredients. And then the next one is clove. Now this is by revelation that these 2 are the top of the list for the current virus. I'll tell you why also from personal perspective. That's been controversial suggestion. Okay, let's put it as a suggestion. In the diet of, like, a lot of people say, okay, eat garlic, eat ginger, eat chili pepper. I personally tell you that doesn't work, because look at the fact now. Chinese eat garlic, Japanese eat garlic, okay? Italian eat a lot of garlic, Korean eat a lot of garlic. What does that tell you, right? Same with chili pepper. All those countries, we all eat chili pepper. Chinese eat a lot of ginger, and Japanese also eat a lot of ginger. What does that tell you? Okay, so I'm not gonna go too much into that because to me, garlic, ginger, and chili pepper seems like have no helping benefits in this scenario. But what I found from the diet thing, it's very interesting that countries that are having lower numbers of cases, for example, India, what do they eat that is different than all those countries that I just mentioned? Clove, cinnamon, currently in the food, right? Masala, curry, turmeric, right? Lots of turmeric. Fennel seed, coriander seed, like all those are herbs and spice that other countries do not use regularly. And India has a very close contact with everyone. Population are very, very dense as well, but they don't have like a huge amount of outbreak like all the other countries I just mentioned. So what does that tell you? Now that is my personal suggestion. It's not scientifically based, but this is what I found that makes sense to me. So you can take it and try it. It's really doesn't hurt to eat a little more cinnamon as long as you don't eat it every day in big amount. Really doesn't hurt to put some clove into your meat dish or make it a tea, use the oils or whatsoever. Turmeric is always good in general terms already, so make use of those. Like try different herbs, try different spice. At this time, everybody it's kind of swimming in the dark, so it's time for us to kind of come out from our comfort zone and little box that limit and try something new. It might help you. So having said that, this oil called Thieves is getting a little famous now. It actually got famous in the time of SARS because it has cinnamon, clove, it has lemon, and other oils that are very helpful. And from Thieves, there is a line of hand sanitizing products that has been just certified into verifying that 99% of germs can be killed by that hand sanitizer, which is like heavily based on this oil blend called Thieves. I actually seen a couple videos that try to make Thieves at home, but I'm telling you the technology this company used, this is one of the reasons why good essential oil is expensive, because the technology being used and the protocols being used are very strict. Essential oil, I said it many times, is the natural chemical compound of the plant. It is subjected very heavily on with chemical reaction, which is heat, pressure, and mixing. So you try to make it at home, it might not be the right temperature, might not be the right pressure to extract that oil to start with. Now, is it effective? I think it will be effective to a certain extent. In the long term, I do not suggest that. But if you really run out of resources and that's all you have at home, yes, please do whatever you can. But if you can get the oil itself, try to get it. It's still in stock, the Thieves oil, but the hand sanitizer is all gone already. And if you have individual oil, you can mix lemon, eucalyptus, clove, and this recipe is out there. It's open. It's not secrets. Like our company did not try to keep it as a secret. So you can kind of just go online and Google it. You'll find the recipe of it. So tea tree, it's a very commonly asked and used oil. Can we use tea tree oil for this virus? My revelation is yes. Kind of number 3, 4 after clove and cinnamon. So clove in my personal messages that came in through my guides, it's clove is number 1, cinnamon is number 2. And then, or they're kind of like almost equal. And then there's tea tree, there's lemon. Eucalyptus is kind of like at the end of the list, still work. and also that will include oregano, thyme, orange, and some other like helpful oil. Like peppermint itself is not for the virus. It's more like soothing down wrenchiness and inflammation at the time. But my revelation is like my guidance was peppermint does not directly deal with the oil. It's more like make you feel better. So if you use kind of like the fixed rub, any menthol rub, it will just make you feel better. It will actually would not do the job of making the condition better. It will just make you feel better. So eucalyptus, it's in on one of the top 5 of the list of my personal list. So that's why I put it here. And it's always more target towards viral. So this is like, that's why it's on the list. And it's easy to use. And it's common and it's not expensive. Not expensive as Thieves, not expensive as cinnamon. And so this is a very handy oil, totally worth the try to diffuse into the air, put it along the sternum, the thymus, the throat, the lymph nodes. It can also be put on the nose or under the nose. It's not as aggressive as cinnamon and clove. Like these two, I will strongly recommend you must mix with some carrier oil or balm. Natural source, please. Please do not mix it with fixed rub because, again, chemical reaction. Okay, so use natural products with natural products. This is like a basic rule of thumb. Now, so this is a very good oil to use. You can diffuse. You can even kind of put it on your tongue if you can take essential oil internally. I just took Thieves in my mouth, but not everybody can do that. Again, I have experience with essential oil over 20 years now. So I can actually literally drink cinnamon, drink clove directly. But please don't do that if you haven't tried. Mix with something, drink with water, put a drop of coconut oil or olive oil or any type to kind of help you mix it and thin it out. Now, orange is, interestingly, I found, because I have other videos that talk about lemon, so I want to talk about orange. But lemon is also a very good oil to use. Now you can mix it into a spray bottle, mix it with other oil and spray the area, and it's cheap oil. And orange is also a cheap oil. So what do I use for this is a lot of people have leather couch at home. You cannot use Thieves on the couch. It will wipe out the color of your couch. It will leave marks, it will leave holes and stuff. Like strong oils like this, please don't use them on leather couch. Okay, I would use orange. Orange, you can put it on a tissue paper, like a wet kind of paper towel, and wipe your leather couch with it. I wipe my leather massage chair with that. It's been 4 years now, no problem. Okay, so this is something that can help in keeping your house clean. You can mop the floor with that. Same thing, lemon, you can do that. There's a blend called purification that can help, that can do the flooring as well. So why do I put out all this oil? Like you see, like the color of the label seems like very similar because it's also show that they share very common properties in a way. Now, in our Chinese cultural view of everything, we kind of divide situations, conditions, elements, food, and herbs into different properties. That on a scale of middle, which is balance, towards warm and hot, from middle balance towards cool and cold. You see what I mean? So we categorize symptoms, disease, conditions in that manner. Same with the herbs that balance them. Same with the food that we eat. Same with your personal behavior and symptoms of any sort into that category. So for example, for us, flu, cold is just a big tree of a whole bunch of different conditions. And some colds, some flus can be towards the hot side. Some can be towards the cold side. So think about if you try to balance already very hot symptoms, cold or flu, with a very hot spice or herbs, it would not work. It would just trigger it more. It would just make it worse. Same thing if you have a cool kind of case of the flu or conditions and you try to use a cold herb like a detoxifying herb, it'll again make it worse. You'll like have a lot of diarrhea, you'll feel very drained, so on and so forth. So understanding the property of the condition is very key to our culture of how to we identify and also utilize the elements, the materials, the herbs to balance it out. Now, again, personal opinion. I have been sick since very young, very sick all the time. I can say I'm a very expert in flus and colds and allergies and all sorts. I have been through personally different kinds of flus and colds and symptoms and respiratory conditions. And I'm one of those people like always have runny nose whole year round. Doesn't matter what season, doesn't matter what's going on. And I've been through many different types of them, so I personally could feel if this kind of symptoms, when it comes to me, is it more towards the hot side or the cold side? Now, the next is a mix of my personal experience, personal opinion, plus a little of the energetic messaging that the C virus is more towards the cold side. And that's why the revelation come when I ask, like, what oil do I use? It's all of these are warm oil. Cinnamon, clove are very warm spice. Even tea tree and orange are kind of like in the middle. Like sometimes if you use a lot of warm spice and herbs to balance a cold symptom, sometimes you might over time overuse. So you want to put in something a little more in the middle to balance it out. Or even sometimes I would use peppermint, which is a cold kind of herbs to balance certain overly dosed warm spice symptoms. That's why I said you can use peppermint to make yourself feel better, but it would not help into the situation itself. But over time, if you use a lot of clove, a lot of cinnamon, and a lot of turmeric, turmeric is also a warm spice, and you find that you're like overheating, you're like very jumpy, use peppermint, soothe you down. It makes you feel better, but itself doesn't help the situation itself. Get the idea? Okay. So, that's a fact that essential oil have exist for over time and still being used widely. This time, when nothing is really 100% sure, I really personally suggest you to try use this ancient wisdom and some Asian wisdom, because our culture has also existed for a long time. And keep yourself strong, motivated to be better in health. I personally have been guided through personal revelations since 3 years ago to start stocking up oils. So I have about like a couple hundred bottles of oil in my cupboard. It will be more than enough for me to use every day in huge amount. I diffuse oil every day in almost everywhere I go in the house. Whenever I go, I'll just put on the diffuser in that room and diffuse. And I'll use different oils together, mix or single, and alternate. Remember, using essential oil now, that's a fact too. Do not just use one thing all the time, because number one, the effect will fade out. Number two, you will overuse on something and go towards one side of the property, which is not a balance. Number 3, if you just use one thing, you are always missing or lacking on other things that are needed that you may not know. So always alternate. Just like you eat food, you won't just eat one food whole day for a whole month. You have to have options. You have to have different elements come together to support you. Our body, again, is a fact. It's a very complex being, from spiritual, emotional, mental to physical. Even physical body itself, again, a fact. Our physical body is very complex. We need different elements to survive. We cannot survive on one kind of vitamin or one kind of nutrient. We need different elements to survive and to stay healthy. So use different things, whatever that come into light of you. This is the best time to connect with your own guidance, your own self, or whoever deity you believe into, your religion. It really doesn't matter. Connect. Ask for guidance. This is the time of the quiz or the test that if you truly believe into yourself or into your faith, that you trust the guidance to guide you. So that's for today. Thank you very much for tuning in and joining me today. I hope you are well and be strong, and also do exercise. Very important. Again, different elements, not just using substance, but train up yourself. Have a good day. I'll see you next time.